YouTube? David with the RC Garage. Got another video. Did some body work and some welding today. Just got my hood fixed. If you remember, the front right here was all rotted out. The corner right here was also completely rotted out. The whole thing was all scaly and flaky, and it had like 3 layers of Bondo, 4 paint jobs. So I took it off, cut it all up, sanded it all down real good. Got it looking way better now. It's still not perfect. It definitely needs another round of some sanding and paint to get it smooth. Still got a few little spots, but here's that. You can see it. The whole outside panel here just flops. That tack weld there broke, as well as the one back here somehow. And my mirror is connected to that, so my mirror just flops. So I'm going to tack weld those back.
This is so that once the engine cover is on, if you accidentally spill oil, it doesn't go all over the valve cover. Okay, so I can reattach this stuff, and I can reattach this stuff, but I might need a seal for this. So we'll do this first, because I know I don't need a seal for it. And I just need a clean cleaner, and I need this hole. Just green stuff all over it.
Some tacks there and there. Now that's sturdy. No more wiggling everywhere.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Check this out. It had rust. Someone put some thin piece of sheet metal over it, riveted in, and then just slapped Bondo on it. Absolutely ridiculous and unacceptable. This is what the entire body looked like before I did the body swap. It's sad. So, ever since I've got this, it's had some bad rust on the hood, and I've replaced both front fenders, the entire body, but the hood, I've never been able to find a good hood for a good price. And today I'm finally just going to start digging into it, cutting this crappy junk out right here, wire wheel the top of it, get all this. I'm pretty much going to have to wire wheel the entire hood. It's going to be a disaster, but I'm tired of looking at it. I want it to look nice. So I'm going to cut it up, weld it, fix all the rust on the hood. Here we go. There's a few ways to fix rust on something this big. Probably The wrong way to do it, and the most common way, the way that I've seen most people do it, is they will either spray foam into the rust hole, put tape on the back side of the rust hole, and then just stack as much Bondo as they can in that rust hole, and then sand it smooth, make it was never there. And that's not the right way to do it, because after 5 years or so, after vibrations, if you bump it, moisture can get trapped behind it, cause more rust. If you bump it, it can crack. It's not the right way to do it at all. It's a hack when people do that, and it really sucks for the person who gets the vehicle that has that, because then they have to deal with that and fix it the right way. The right way to fix rust like this is you get a grinder with a cutoff wheel and you cut out the rust. You cut past it, you cut all of it out. Rust is like a cancer. If you don't completely get rid of it and cut it out, it will keep spreading. So you chop it out, every last bit of it, then you get a nice clean piece of metal, you get some cardboard, you trace out the piece you want on some cardboard, cut the cardboard because it's way easier to manipulate and cut cardboard than metal. You get a piece that fits perfectly in there, a cardboard template. Lots of people call it CAD, cardboard aided development. Same thing as like CAD on the computer, but they call it that just because cardboard. But anyway, once you get your cardboard piece cut out, matched up, you trace it on a piece of metal, cut that piece of metal, and you weld it in. And that is the way I fixed it. That's the correct way to do it. That's how you'll see me fixing the front of this hood now. If you do it the other way, you shouldn't be allowed to touch vehicles, period. So I wasn't too sure at the time, but I had suspicions that wire wheeling the hood like this, because of how thin it was, it would warp it, and it would just be extremely difficult or near impossible to get this thing clean and all the paint and Bondo off without warping it. And as I got further into it, that's pretty much exactly what happened. So I got it looking a lot better than it did, as you'll see throughout the rest of me doing this whole thing. But it is far from perfect, and there is still a very high chance that I will probably just get an entirely new hood sometime in the future. So this thing is in extremely rough shape. It's got rust everywhere. I don't understand how a hood can get this freaking rusty unless you're just driving it in the middle of salty winter in Minnesota and then you just park it all year without washing it. That's the only way it can get this bad. This is everywhere. Like, I can stick my fingers through that. And the whole corner. It's gonna suck patching this thing up.
Now, welding metal this thin, it's really a pain in the butt. If you're welding something like that metal tube on my front bumper I'm working on, it's super easy. You can just do a continuous weld. You can manipulate the pool. But when it comes to this super thin, like 14 gauge, 16 gauge metal, especially when it's rusty and thin like this, it just wants to blow through immediately. So all you can really do is tack weld after tack weld after tack weld. You can't drag or chase a bead across the hood or whatever surface you're welding. Super thin stuff like this sucks because it takes forever and it's never as pretty.
So it is far from done, but it is welded in. Now I gotta grind this all smooth, the whole front of it. And then I may or may not have to add a little bit of Bondo. I'll probably have to add some just to get it smooth and like looking nice to where you can't tell there was ever anything here. Just welding a piece of metal on will never make it look perfect. You're always gonna have to do a little body work, a little bit of Bondo. But a little bit of Bondo on top of good metal is perfectly normal. It's just when you slap Bondo on over rust holes, that's not okay. Alright, so that's it for tonight. It's starting to get dark. As you can see, it's far from looking nice and pretty. It's nowhere near done. I've still got to get this gap down here more straightened out and smooth. I'm going to have to put Bondo across the top of this and get it all smooth and straightened out, just because it's basically impossible to get metal this thin and rusted to butt up smooth and weld perfectly.
What you see me doing here is the frame of the hood is separate from the actual like flat top part of the hood, and they do that from the manufacturer. Lots and lots of cars do, most cars do, and they have like some sticky foamy adhesive in between the actual flat piece and the frame to allow some flex. Well, mine's so old that all that stuff has deteriorated, and my entire hood just kind of flops and wiggles back and forth, and it's very, very loose and floppy. So it probably isn't the right thing to do, but I'm going to tack weld my frame to the top part of my hood just to make my hood a little more rigid, not allow it to flex around so much. So you might be wondering, all this bashing Bondo and putting tons of Bondo on stuff, and you clearly see me slapping loads of Bondo on the top of this hood. Like I said earlier, after I got farther and farther into this, the whole hood, especially after I got some primer on it and put a little bit of filler on it, this hood is so warped and just in such bad shape that I kind of stopped caring and gave up at this point. I'm no longer trying to make this hood perfect and rust-free and factory. I'm just trying to make it look somewhat decent so I can slap it back on until I'm done getting this thing ready for the trip in July, and then I'll probably start looking for a new hood because I just want it to be nice and straight.
So
I don't want
after
it to have
this, after you see me put all the
any
Bondo on, that's
it. I
pretty
just want
much
it to be
it.
original.
I stopped
So for
recording
now,
after
I'm
this.
just
I was kind of
Bondoing it up
upset that
and
the
sanding
hood
it.
was
I'm not going to be
just in
reselling this
such
hood.
bad
I'm going to
shape
throw this
because
thing
I
in the
thought I might
garbage.
be able to save it, but I ended up sanding it all the way down. Probably spent about 5 or 6 hours the next day just sanding with an electric sander. Painted it with some blue primer and paint. That I had laying around. I plan on painting the entire vehicle that color, actually. The Dixie Cup design on the side, don't really like it that much anymore. It didn't turn out quite as good as I had hoped. So I'm just going to do the entire car this color blue, and I'll probably put like the factory style white decals down the side. For this video, next video, my engine has low compression. Ever since I got it, I suspected it had low compression because it pops out, it blows a lot of smoke out the breather. When I first got it, the valves were adjusted extremely poorly. it sounded like a sewing machine when it would run. And the gas that was in it was so bad that if I left it sit overnight when I first got it running, the valves would actually get stuck in place. And when I would go to start it the next morning, it would take about 30 whole seconds of it would take a while to crank.
Have you ever had a dreams that you had you could you do you want you could do so you do you could you
And then it would take probably 30 seconds of running on like 1 or 2 cylinders under full throttle just for it to unstick and start spinning all the other, or start pushing all the other valves down. And I think they got burnt or damaged. I've done compression tests and I've got 60 psi in each cylinder. Never burns oil, never smokes out the exhaust. My spark plug never has any carbon deposits on it. I've looked in the cylinder. Down in the cylinder is always clean. It's not burning any oil. So it's not my rings. My rings are good. Based on the fact that my valves used to always get stuck, I think they're burnt or not seating properly. And I think my valve stem seals are worn out from probably a nasty pitted valve rolling up and down through the seal, because I get a lot of smoke out the breather, but I never lose any oil. I never lose any coolant, never burn anything, never smokes, only out the breather. So I ordered all new valves, new valve seals, head gasket, all of that stuff to do a head job, valve lappers, everything. And when it arrives in the mail, I'm going to do all the valves, lap all the valves, all new gaskets, get it back up to factory compression, hopefully. And if I can get it back up to at least 150 psi, then I'm putting a turbo on it from Myron's Off-Road, Zook's Off-Road, whatever it is, and it'll be awesome. So like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.